Confidence outweighs size because it shapes the way a man is seen before he even opens his mouth. Think about it. When a man walks into a room, no one knows his height, no one knows his bank balance, and certainly no one knows what size he carries beneath his clothes. What they do know instantly is his energy. Confidence is not arrogance. It is not loudness or showing off. It is quiet assurance that says, I am comfortable in my own skin. That assurance radiates and draws people in without effort. A woman notices that more than anything else. She pays attention to the way you carry yourself before she notices what you wear. Confidence is the doorway through which attraction walks. When a man lacks confidence, it shows in every interaction. He shrinks when he should stand tall. He hesitates when he should speak clearly. He doubts himself when he should believe. Women can sense insecurity almost immediately. It slips through in body language, in tone, in eye contact. You might think you can hide it behind jokes or bravado, but it eventually shows. And the more you focus on what you believe you lack physically, the more insecure you become. This obsession with size convinces many men that they are not good enough, and that belief slowly eats away at their ability to connect. Confidence, on the other hand, can make the so-called smallest man in the room feel like a giant. Women are drawn to energy, not inches, and energy comes from confidence. Confidence is magnetic because it communicates certainty. When you look a woman in the eye and you know you are enough, she feels that. She does not have to ask, she senses it without words. That certainty creates emotional safety because she knows you are not seeking validation from her. You already validate yourself. In relationships, this is gold. A woman does not want to constantly reassure a man that he is worthy. She wants to stand beside someone who already knows it. Size will not give you that certainty, but confidence will. And when you are confident, you stand out in a world full of doubt. Women naturally gravitate toward men who are sure of themselves, who walk with clarity, who don't have to compare themselves to others. That's what makes the difference. It is important to understand that confidence is not about being perfect. Nobody is perfect, and women do not expect perfection. Confidence is about acceptance, accepting your strengths and your flaws without apology. A confident man does not overcompensate or pretend to be someone he is not. Instead, he owns who he is. This is why confidence outweighs size every single time. Because what women truly care about is not the measurement of your body, but the depth of your self-acceptance. They want to know if you can stand tall even when you are vulnerable, if you can speak with certainty even when you face challenges, if you can own yourself fully. That ownership is powerful. That ownership is unforgettable. Women notice confidence in small details. The way you sit at a table without fidgeting, the way you shake hands with steady pressure, the way you speak without rushing or mumbling, the way you make eye contact without fear. These little cues signal to her that you know who you are and you are comfortable being seen. On the other hand, insecurity shows in equally small ways: avoiding eye contact, laughing nervously, speaking too softly, slouching. A woman reads these cues unconsciously, and they tell her far more than your body ever could. That is why confidence outweighs size. Because the signals of self-assurance are far more attractive than anything physical. Even when it comes to intimacy, confidence makes the difference. A man who is worried about size is often too focused on performance to be present, but a man who is confident knows how to create connection. He understands that intimacy is not about proving something, but about sharing something. He listens, he pays attention, he adapts, he engages. Women respond to that presence far more deeply than to any physical measurement. Confidence allows you to be free, playful, and secure in intimacy, and that security translates into passion. Without confidence, intimacy becomes mechanical, but with confidence, it becomes unforgettable. Confidence also influences the way others treat you. When you value yourself, people value you more. When you walk with confidence, you command respect without demanding it. Women, notice how others respond to you, how your energy shapes the environment around you. They are attracted to men who can hold their ground, who can stand tall in any situation, who do not collapse under pressure. This is not about being the loudest voice in the room, but the voice that carries weight. A confident man does not need approval, and ironically, that is what makes people approve of him. Size does not command respect, confidence does. The myth of size has damaged countless men because it distracts them from developing what really matters. Many spend years worrying about what cannot be changed, instead of building the qualities that women actually care about. And here is the truth: confidence is something you can cultivate. It is not given to a chosen few. It is built step by step through action and self-belief. Every time you face your fears, you grow more confident. Every time you set a boundary, you grow more confident. Every time you accept yourself as you are, you grow more confident, and that growth shines brighter than any number ever could. Confidence is the foundation of attraction because it creates consistency. A woman knows what to expect from a confident man: stability, assurance, strength. She does not have to guess how he feels about himself. It is evident in the way he carries himself. In contrast, an insecure man is unpredictable, always swayed by external validation, always chasing approval. This inconsistency makes her feel unsafe because she cannot rely on his energy, but a confident man gives her the gift of stability. He is steady, he is grounded, and he is sure of himself. That steadiness outweighs size in every way. When you understand this, you stop comparing yourself to others. You stop believing the lie that size defines you. You begin to realize that attraction is about presence, not pressure. Women are not looking for the biggest, the tallest, or the strongest. They are looking for the man who knows who he is, who does not apologize for existing, who shows up fully as himself. That man is rare, and that man is unforgettable. Confidence makes him stand out long after others are forgotten. And that is why confidence outweighs size, not just sometimes, but always. Emotional security matters more than anything because it is the anchor of every meaningful relationship. A woman may admire your looks, she may be impressed by your possessions, but what makes her truly stay is how safe she feels in your presence. Safety is not about locks on the doors or the thickness of your muscles. Safety is about knowing she can open her heart to you without being judged, mocked, or dismissed. It is about knowing her emotions will not be thrown back at her like weapons. It is about trust that you will hold her secrets, respect her feelings, and protect her vulnerability. A woman can live without extravagance, but she cannot thrive without safety. That emotional security is worth more to her than anything you could buy. When a man provides emotional security, he shows consistency. He is not one person today and another tomorrow. He does not shift like sand depending on his mood or external pressures. Instead, he is steady, reliable, and emotionally grounded. Women crave that kind of steadiness because it allows them to relax into the relationship. Without consistency, she is always guessing where she stands, and uncertainty is exhausting. She does not want to walk on eggshells, fearing that the next storm might break everything apart. She wants a man whose stability she can lean on, a man who will not disappear emotionally when things get hard. That assurance is more attractive than physical size could ever be. Emotional security is also about presence. Many men are physically present but emotionally absent, distracted by their phones, their worries, or their ego. But when you give a woman your undivided attention, she feels safe. Presence tells her she matters, that her words are being heard, and that her feelings carry weight. Women are not impressed by size if the man who has it cannot be present with them. What captures their heart is the man who puts the world aside to truly listen. Listening is not just waiting for your turn to speak. It is absorbing, reflecting, and responding with empathy. That kind of listening creates a bond that no physical attribute can compete with. A man who gives emotional security makes a woman feel valued. He communicates that her thoughts are important, that her emotions are valid, and that her dreams are possible. He does not belittle her fears or mock her insecurities. Instead, he respects them and supports her through them. This validation is not weakness, it is strength. It takes a secure man to provide security for someone else. Women are deeply moved by men who know how to stand strong while also being gentle. That combination of firmness and tenderness is what wins her heart, because it tells her she is safe not only physically, but emotionally. Emotional security also shows up in the way you handle conflict. Every relationship will face disagreements, but how you respond determines how safe she feels. Do you attack her or do you seek understanding? Do you shut down or do you engage with patience? A woman feels secure with a man who can disagree without disrespect, who can argue without cruelty, who can listen even when he disagrees. This kind of maturity is rare, but it is priceless. It tells her that even in the heat of conflict, she is safe with you. She does not have to fear being abandoned or humiliated, because you can handle storms with composure. That security deepens trust. Women remember how you make them feel in moments of vulnerability. If she shares something painful from her past, how do you respond? If she shows her weaknesses, how do you hold them? A man who brushes them aside or mocks them destroys trust instantly. But a man who listens, who comforts, who protects those vulnerabilities becomes unforgettable. Emotional security means she can be fully herself, messy, imperfect, raw, without the fear of rejection. That kind of safety is rare, and when a woman finds it, she cherishes it more than any external trait. It is not your size she recalls at night, but the way you made her feel when she was most exposed. Providing emotional security also requires emotional intelligence. It is the ability to recognize your own emotions and manage them so you don't project chaos onto her. A man who is emotionally intelligent knows how to pause before reacting, knows how to express himself without destruction, knows how to create space for another person's feelings. This intelligence creates a safe environment where love can grow. Without it, relationships crumble under the weight of volatility. Women admire men who can control themselves, who do not lash out in anger, who understand the power of words. This level of self-control makes her feel safe because she knows she will not be a target of unnecessary harm. Another layer of emotional security comes from reassurance. This does not mean constant flattery or endless compliments. It means letting her know, through your words and actions, that she is important, valued, and loved. In a world where women are often criticized and pressured, reassurance is oxygen. When she knows you have her back, when she feels your loyalty without question, she relaxes into love. Reassurance does not make you weak. It makes you strong enough to affirm her without losing yourself. A man who can reassure a woman gives her the freedom to pour more love back into the relationship. That exchange becomes the foundation of something lasting. Emotional security is also about honesty. Lies create cracks in safety faster than anything else. When a man lies, exaggerates, or hides, he destroys the foundation of trust. But when he is honest, even when the truth is difficult, he builds safety. Women feel secure with men who are transparent, who do not play games, who say what they mean and mean what they say. Honesty does not mean brutality. It means clarity spoken with respect. That clarity allows her to trust your words and depend on your actions. And when trust is secure, love thrives. At the heart of it all, emotional security matters more than size because it touches what is eternal, not temporary. Looks fade, wealth shifts, and physical attributes may impress briefly, but emotional safety lasts. It creates peace, it creates intimacy, it creates loyalty. A woman may be drawn to you for many reasons, but she stays when she feels safe. Safety is the soil where love grows, and emotional security is the water that keeps it alive. Without it, nothing can survive. With it, everything can flourish, and that is why emotional security always outweighs size. Skill and intention beat size because intimacy is not about what you have, but how you use what you have. Many men believe that size alone can guarantee satisfaction, but women know the truth. It is not the tool, it is the intention behind it. Intimacy is about awareness, connection, and presence. A man who is mindful, who pays attention, and who brings care into the experience is far more memorable than one who only relies on physical attributes. Women do not measure fulfillment in inches. They measure it in effort, in how deeply you connect, and how intentional you are with every touch, every word, and every moment. Intimacy is not performance. It is a shared experience that thrives on skill and intention. When a man approaches intimacy with skill, it shows in his ability to read her cues. He notices the way her body responds, the way her breathing changes, the way her eyes communicate without words. He does not rush, he listens with his senses. Women are deeply attracted to men who know how to pay attention. That attention tells her she matters, that her pleasure is not secondary but central. Size cannot give you that awareness. It is learned, practiced, and refined through care. A skilled man creates an experience that lingers long after the moment has passed, because he makes her feel seen and cherished. That is what women carry in their memory, not size. Intention adds depth because it transforms intimacy from a physical act into an emotional experience. A man with intention does not see intimacy as a box to tick, but as a moment to connect. His focus is not just on release, but on creating closeness. Women feel that difference instantly. They can tell when a man is present versus when he is distracted. They can tell when he is giving versus when he is taking. Intention makes every gesture meaningful, every touch deliberate, every moment powerful. It is the difference between emptiness and fulfillment, between forgettable and unforgettable. Women talk about skill and intention because it creates trust. When she knows you are attentive and intentional, she feels safe to let go. She knows you are not there to judge or to prove something, but to share something. That safety allows her to open herself fully, emotionally and physically. A man who lacks skill or intention leaves her feeling unseen, disconnected, and unfulfilled, regardless of size. But a man who is intentional gives her an experience that feels complete, satisfying, and profound. That experience has nothing to do with size, and everything to do with how you show up in the moment. Skill in intimacy is not about techniques alone. It is about emotional connection. It is about knowing that every woman is different, that what works for one may not work for another. A skilled man does not assume he explores, he learns, he adapts. He treats intimacy as a journey, not a checklist. That curiosity makes him magnetic because it shows humility and care. Women feel valued when a man seeks to learn them instead of performing routines. This is where intention and skill merge curiosity with care, exploration with respect, and presence with patience. Those qualities cannot be replaced by size. Another layer of skill is communication. Women find it attractive when a man can talk openly, ask questions, and invite feedback without ego. Communication deepens connection because it creates clarity. A man who communicates shows he cares about her experience, not just his own. He invites her into partnership, making intimacy a shared creation rather than a one-sided act. This openness builds trust and closeness, and it is far more powerful than silent assumptions. Size does not ask questions, skill does. Size does not adapt, intention does, and that is what makes the difference. Women remember men who are present. Presence is perhaps the greatest skill of all. It means putting away distractions, quieting your mind, and focusing completely on her. It means noticing, feeling, responding, and being with her in that moment. Presence communicates value. It tells her she is worthy of your full attention. When you are present, intimacy becomes more than physical, it becomes emotional, even spiritual. That depth is unforgettable. Women crave presence because it makes them feel connected, cherished, and honored. No physical size can replicate the feeling of being truly present with someone. Skill and intention also extend beyond the bedroom. They show in the way you hold her hand, the way you hug her, the way you kiss her forehead without expecting anything in return. Intimacy is not confined to one space. It is woven into everyday gestures. When you are intentional with how you treat her, you build anticipation, closeness, and desire. A man who is thoughtful outside of intimacy creates deeper intimacy within it. Women care about how you show up consistently, not only in moments of passion. Those small, intentional acts make her feel special and secure, and they build desire that size alone never could. The most unforgettable men are not the ones who boast about what they have, but the ones who quietly master how to give. They approach intimacy with humility, patience, and devotion. They are learners, not performers, givers, not takers. Women are drawn to this energy because it feels safe and satisfying. Intimacy becomes a partnership instead of a performance. Skill and intention make her feel like a queen, not an object, and when she feels like a queen, her attraction to you deepens beyond measure. That depth is the real goal, not bragging rights, not numbers, but real, lasting connection. At the end of the day, women care about the experience, not the measurement. They remember how you made them feel, how you touched them with care, how you were present with patience, how you approached intimacy with intention. They carry with them the memory of being seen, being heard, being valued. That is what stays in their hearts long after physical details fade. Skill and intention create love stories, unforgettable nights, and lifelong bonds. Size cannot do that. And that is why skill and intention always beat size every single time. Respect and character are the real attraction because they speak louder than anything physical ever could. A woman may notice your looks, she may admire your body, but what keeps her is the way you treat her and others. Respect is the foundation of trust, and character is the proof of your true value. A man who respects himself, respects women, and respects life naturally becomes magnetic. Women are not blind. They see how you treat the waiter, how you speak to your friends, how you handle people who cannot give you anything. Respect is not something you perform when you want to impress. It is who you are when no one is watching. That authenticity draws women in because it speaks of integrity, and integrity is the ultimate attraction. A man's character is revealed in how he handles power. Do you use your strength to control, or do you use it to protect? Do you use your voice to belittle, or do you use it to uplift? Women watch these things closely because they reveal the kind of partner you will be. Character is not about perfection. It is about consistency. It is about showing up with honesty, kindness, and responsibility, even when it is inconvenient. A woman knows that a man with good character will stand beside her in storms, not run when it rains. She knows that respect will be her shield, not her prison. That assurance is far more powerful than any physical trait. Respect is also about boundaries. A man who respects a woman knows how to honor her limits without complaint or manipulation. He understands that no means no, and he does not push for what she is not ready to give. This restraint shows maturity, and maturity is irresistible. Women feel safe with men who honor their boundaries because it proves he sees them as whole human beings, not objects. Respect at this level is rare, and when it is present, it transforms the relationship into a safe and loving partnership. No amount of size can compete with the comfort and safety respect provides. Character is tested in small everyday choices. Do you tell the truth even when a lie is easier? Do you keep your promises even when no one will know if you break them? Do you apologize when you are wrong instead of letting pride destroy connection? These small acts of integrity are what women notice most. They reveal whether you can be trusted with her heart. Women want men who are honest, not perfect, dependable, not flawless. Character is what allows her to rest in love without fear, knowing she has chosen a man whose word and actions align. That is attraction at its deepest. Respect is also about the way you listen. Many men underestimate the power of listening with patience, without interruption, without rushing to solve. A respectful man listens to understand, not just to respond. He makes her feel that her voice has value, that her opinions matter, that her emotions are valid. This kind of listening builds intimacy faster than any physical gesture. Women crave to be understood, and when they feel heard, they feel loved. Respect in listening is what separates men who are remembered from men who are forgotten. It is not size that makes her stay. It is the way you listen to her heart. Character shapes how you handle temptation. Life will always present moments that test your loyalty. A man of weak character will bend, flirt with betrayal, or give in to selfish desires. But a man of strong character remains grounded, faithful, and true. Women know that temptation is real, but they admire and trust men who choose integrity over impulse. That trust creates security, and security is magnetic. A man who can resist temptation for the sake of love proves that his commitment is real. That kind of strength is unforgettable, and no physical measurement could ever compete with it. Respect also means valuing her dreams as much as your own. A respectful man does not belittle her ambitions or dismiss her goals. Instead, he supports her, encourages her, and celebrates her victories. Women are deeply drawn to men who can stand beside them as equals, not competitors. Respect lifts her up instead of holding her down, and that lifting creates loyalty. A man who respects a woman's individuality becomes her safe place, her partner, her inspiration. That is what creates attraction that lasts beyond initial sparks. That is what builds bonds that size can never create. Character shows in how you handle failure. Do you give up when life knocks you down, or do you rise with resilience? Women admire men who can face adversity without bitterness, who can acknowledge mistakes without shame, who can grow through pain with dignity. A man's character shines brightest in hardship because it reveals his strength of spirit. Women are not searching for flawless men. They are searching for men who can endure, who can learn, and who can lead with grace even in loss. That resilience makes her feel she can trust you through anything, and that trust outweighs any superficial trait. Respect also extends to how you treat yourself. If you neglect yourself, disrespect your own boundaries, or compromise your values, you send a message of insecurity. But when you respect yourself, your body, your time, your energy, you set a standard for how others must treat you. Women are attracted to men who know their worth and protect it with dignity. Self-respect is not arrogance, it is quiet strength. It communicates to her that you will not lose yourself in the relationship, and that steadiness gives her confidence. A man who respects himself can truly respect others, and that balance is magnetic. In the end, women are not asking for perfection. They are asking for respect and character. They want men who stand tall in truth, who treat people with kindness, who honor their word, who create safety through integrity. Respect is what makes her feel cherished, and character is what makes her feel secure. These two qualities will always be more attractive than size because they reach the heart, not just the eyes. When you embody respect and live with character, you become the kind of man who is unforgettable, admired, and deeply desired. That is the truth women actually care about. True desire is about connection because connection is what binds two souls together in a way that goes beyond the surface. A woman may notice your appearance, she may even appreciate your body, but what keeps her drawn to you is the depth of the connection you create. Connection is built in the way you laugh together, in the way you share silence without discomfort, in the way you look at her, and she feels understood without words. Women care about whether they can feel at home with you, whether they can drop their guard and still be accepted. That kind of connection cannot be faked and cannot be bought. It is built slowly, intentionally, and with authenticity. When a woman feels that bond, size becomes irrelevant, because her heart is already captured. Connection is born from emotional intimacy, the kind that allows two people to share their inner worlds without fear. A woman wants to know that she can speak her truth and you will not dismiss her. She wants to feel that she can reveal her vulnerabilities and you will not exploit them. Emotional intimacy is created when you show genuine curiosity about her thoughts, when you listen without distraction, when you honor her emotions as valid. It is not about agreeing with everything she says, it is about creating a space where she feels seen and valued. That kind of intimacy is what keeps her longing for you. Physical size may impress her for a moment, but emotional connection will hold her for a lifetime. Connection is also strengthened through shared values. A woman is drawn to a man whose principles align with hers, whose outlook on life resonates with her own. Shared values create a sense of unity, a sense that you are moving in the same direction. It is not about agreeing on every detail, but about sharing the foundation of what matters most. Women know that passion fades when values clash, but when values align, desire deepens with time. A man who honors his beliefs and respects hers creates a bond that feels unbreakable. This is why connection outshines size, because it roots itself in something lasting and real. Laughter plays a powerful role in connection. Women are naturally drawn to men who can make them laugh, who can lighten heavy moments, who can bring joy into ordinary days. Humor creates a bridge that makes her feel safe, playful, and alive. It is not about telling the best jokes, but about being able to laugh at yourself, to find joy in the small things, to share moments of lightness together. Laughter disarms tension and builds intimacy in ways size never can. When she remembers you, she will not recall measurements, but she will recall the times you made her smile until her stomach hurt. That memory is what keeps desire alive. Connection deepens through presence. A woman feels desired when you are truly present with her, when you put aside distractions and focus solely on her. Presence is rare in a world where attention is always divided, and that rarity makes it precious. When you are present, she feels prioritized, valued, and cherished. She knows she is not competing with your phone, your work, or your ego. Presence makes her feel she is the most important person in your world in that moment. That experience of being fully seen is what creates lasting desire. Without presence, even size cannot fill the void. Connection is built in vulnerability. Many men fear showing vulnerability because they think it will make them appear weak. But in reality, vulnerability makes you human, and humanity creates intimacy. When you can admit your fears, share your struggles, and open your heart, you invite her to do the same. That openness builds a bond that is impossible to break. Women are not seeking men who hide behind masks of perfection. They are seeking men who are real, who are authentic, who are brave enough to be open. Vulnerability connects in a way that bravado never can, and that connection outlasts superficial attraction. Shared experiences also strengthen connection. Traveling together, cooking together, overcoming challenges together. All of these moments weave a story that ties you closer. A woman desires a man who will create memories with her, not just moments. Shared experiences create inside jokes, private languages, and bonds that no one else can touch. They give her a sense of belonging, a sense that she is part of something bigger than herself. When she looks back, it is not size that makes her smile. It is the tapestry of experiences you created together. That shared history becomes the glue that keeps her connected to you. Connection thrives on consistency. A woman feels most desired when she knows you will show up, not only in grand gestures, but in small, everyday actions. Desire is not about one dramatic night. It is about repeated moments of love, care, and attention. Consistency tells her she can trust your love, that it is not fleeting, that it is not conditional. Women are drawn to men whose actions match their words, whose love is steady and reliable. This consistency builds security, and security deepens desire. Without it, attraction fades, no matter how strong it once was. Consistency outweighs size every single time. Connection also grows through spiritual intimacy, through the feeling that you are not only bonded in body and mind, but in soul. This does not always mean religion, it means depth, meaning, and purpose in the way you love. When a woman feels spiritually connected, she feels like your relationship transcends the physical and touches something eternal. That kind of bond is rare, but when it exists, it is unshakable. It gives her the feeling that your connection was meant to be, that it is destiny, not coincidence. That sense of divine connection is what keeps her bound to you, and no physical measure can replace it. In the end, true desire is about how connected she feels to you. It is about the emotional intimacy you create, the values you share, the laughter you bring, the presence you offer, the vulnerability you show, the experiences you build, the consistency you live by, and the spiritual depth you nurture. These are the things that women care about, the things that keep them drawn to you in ways that size never will. Connection is the real fire, the real magnet, the real secret to desire. It is what makes her choose you, stay with you, and remember you long after everything else fades.